Hey guys, welcome to Sketch-A-Day. We're not going to be drawing today. I just wanted to talk about a few things with you. I got a question from one of our fans, Lori, and she was asking about working with freelance clients. So it's a little bit about who I am. I'm a practicing industrial designer. I've been doing it for about 15 years now, and I've had a variety of experiences. I've worked corporate, meaning for a large company. I've worked for smaller consultancy. I've even started my own business, and now I'm an independent creative and freelancer. And over the years, I've learned a lot of different things through sometimes hard experiences and sometimes from other people. When you run your own business or you're a freelancer and you're dependent on generating work for yourself, it can be really stressful. But I've learned some things along the way that have kind of helped me out. I'm going to break this video into two parts. The first is going to be about how do I go about being a freelancer or an independent creative, whether you're starting your own business or working on your own, and how do I generate those results that I'm after. And the other video is going to be a bit about that working relationship that you might have with your clients and one specific frustration that I think many independent creatives encounter along the way. So you want to be an independent creative. It's a daunting proposition, frankly. About a year ago, a little over a year ago from the time of this video, I set out to be an independent creative myself. Now, this wasn't particularly daunting because I had done this before in the past, albeit with a business partner. Right around the time of the 2008-2009 financial crisis, I was forced to leave my employment due to diminishing resources. And so at that point, which may seem crazy, I decided to start a business with my business partner at the time and best friend. And we had lofty goals and ideas. We wanted to generate lots of business, but understandably, it was more difficult than we anticipated. Not only were we just 2 or 3 years out of school, but the financial situation at the time, the crushing financial crisis that we were experiencing around the world, was discouraging. That first year, I remember pounding the pavement, knocking doors, calling people, emailing, doing everything I could to generate business. That being said, I've learned a few things that helped me generate business and survive that time. And I think now would be a good time to talk about that. We are currently in a pandemic. A lot has changed. And I think a bit of creativity can go a long way in generating leads for yourself. The first thing I learned, and actually I learned this from a friend, is the difference in approach to how you generate your work. If you were, let's say, in the wilderness and you're trying to feed yourself and your family, you can go about it in a few different ways. But I'm going to be reductive and talk about buffalo and squirrel. If I am hunting squirrel, I might be able to catch a lot of squirrel. Or another approach would be to hunt a large game animal, something like a buffalo. If I'm lucky enough to catch that buffalo, I can feed my family for a long time and sustain our well-being. But hunting for squirrel can feel frantic. It can feel stressful and sometimes discouraging, knowing how much energy you're putting into that activity as opposed to hanging back and waiting for the right opportunity. So that's my first lesson, is hunt for buffalo. Try to find those opportunities that are bigger and will sustain and give you a sense of fulfillment without stressing you out to the point of burnout. So how do you do this? Which leads me to my second point. You have to be unashamedly everywhere. Shameless self-promotion means that you're willing to put yourself everywhere and anywhere that potential clients might be. Now, you don't want to come across as desperate, but rather put your work in front of people. Use social media platforms, build a website, tell your friends, and even tell your family that this is what you're doing. Be as visible as you can be. Be as visible as you can be. Put your best work out there and put it in the places that people are going to find it. Not only do you have to put your work out there, but you have to figure out ways to get people to see your work. So in some instances, you may have to purchase advertising. However, cold calling and advertising, as much as I did that in the 2009-2008 financial crisis, is not the most effective way to build those relationships. Even if you are putting your work out there, it's important to be a decent person, be a good human. And this may seem obvious, but sometimes as designers and creatives, we forget that it all starts with relationships. It doesn't matter how good you are, if you're a miserable person to work with, no one's going to want to work with you. It may seem easy for me to say, hey, go for the buffalo, don't go for the squirrel, put yourself everywhere. But really, as a creative, try and find creative ways to mix things up. Trying different strategies, different platforms, different approaches, and even trying to do different types of work can open up new pathways and opportunities for you. Sometimes saying yes to an opportunity, even if you don't want to do it or you think it might not be in line with what you currently do, can open doors for other experiences and opportunities. And like I said before, be a decent person, be a good friend. There are contracts and work that I'm doing now that are actually tied to relationships that I forged 10 years ago. Seemingly innocuous connections and interactions that I've had with people have for years benefited me in the long run. So learn to be a good person if you're not already a good person, and hopefully you all are good people. But those are 3 things that I found in my journey to be extremely helpful. Buffalo or squirrel, be everywhere, and be a good person, be decent. And the work will come to you. At some point, you may have to market yourself, like I said, by buying ads or putting yourself in situations that may feel uncomfortable. But ultimately, all these things will work to your benefit to generate some work. Well, hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. This is part 1 of 2 videos about working as an independent creative that I wanted to create and share with you. If you have further questions, feel free to leave a comment below, join our Discord, or just hit me up on the social medias. I'm all over the place and easy to find. Well, that's it for today. Take care and join us for part 2, where I'll talk a little bit about working with clients specifically and some of those problems that you may encounter while working with clients.